Okay, welcome all. Welcome all. Thank you for being here. Juan David, Valentina, and Carlos. The aim of today's meeting is to discuss and do some exercises about the third conditional. I have been answering all the posts you have been doing during the last 2 weeks on the forum. Remember, that's an activity, a grading activity. The forum, 3 things I regret. So for today, I want to show you the main structure you need to use in that activity, and that is the third conditional. And we are going to do some exercises trying to put what some of the students, some of the apprentices in the course did, but in the wrong way. Not wrong way, it is not a wrong way, but it is not what you're being asked to do. So I will share my screen. Please, here it is. Okay, so here I put a document, a Word document. I was doing that while I was waiting for you. And this is the main structure of the third conditional. Remember that I think that now you are watching you can see my screen. This is the main structure of the third conditional. Remember that all conditionals are conditions. We use conditionals to express things when they have some conditions. So remember that the main structure of a conditional, we have 0, 1, 2, and 3, first, second, and third conditional 0. That's 4 conditionals. We also have mixed conditionals. Remember that they have this structure. There is an if, which is the condition, and then you have the second clause. This is called a clause. We have sentences in English in every language, right? This is a sentence. For instance, here I have an example. Not being sure of myself, and that's why I lost opportunities. That's a sentence. But I can build sentences from simple ones to bigger or stronger structures. So let's say if I say, welcome all, that has a meaning. I am welcome you to this meeting. That's the whole sentence. But I use an expression to say, I don't have to say the whole sentence, but I can say welcome all. That's not exactly a sentence in English. Remember that every sentence needs a subject and a verb. Do you understand? So we have simple sentences like, I am Yvonne. This is a simple sentence. You are Valentina. He is Carlos. And the other guy, he is Juan David. Okay? Those are simple sentences. With bigger or stronger sentences, we call those complex sentences. Each part, its name is clause. So a clause is a part of a complex sentence. So talking back to the third conditional and closing that parentheses I just made, we have the if clause and we have the main clause, always to express, in order to express a condition. In the case of the third conditional, which is it can be the most difficult one for most people. The structure is we use the past perfect and we use the perfect conditional. This one and this one, those are tenses, verb tenses. So I need to know how to build a sentence in the past perfect and how to build a sentence using the perfect conditional. The perfect conditional is would have done. Remember that the past perfect, I didn't prepare a slide about the past tense, but we are going to past perfect tense. And we have the conditional, the perfect conditional. So the conditional is a tense, it's a verb tense where we use would. That's the conditional. If I say the perfect conditional, I have to say would have, and let's say here, let's use brackets. Would have, in parentheses, done. Done is just an example. It's just a verb, but it can be every verb. Past tense, the past perfect tense, remember that the auxiliary, because we're using the past, and we're using the perfect, remember that the auxiliary, okay, I will ask you this, guys, you in the meeting. What's the auxiliary of the perfect tenses? Can you identify the auxiliary in the perfect tenses? You can open your microphones. You can use the chat. Please, guys. Let's see. We still have Juan David and Luis. So let me ask you this, Luis and Juan David. Do you remember what's the auxiliary verb we use for perfect tenses? Remember that we use the have. Have is the auxiliary for perfect tenses in English. Here we're using the past perfect, that is, have in the past. So the auxiliary of the past perfect is had. And we use the main verb goes in the third column, what we call the third column of the verb list. Do you remember that structure? Past participle. That's the name of that structure. So as an example, I can say, where is the bracket? Close the bracket. Okay, here. using something similar to here, perfect conditional, I can say as an example that the past perfect tense would be something like had, and as an example, had done. Okay? So this is very important to remember how we build past perfect and how we build the perfect conditional to know how to build a third conditional sentences. This is the structure. Do you have any question? I know this is a little bit tricky because we are seeing the perfect tense, and that's a little bit difficult because you have to think a lot about what's the auxiliary and the past participle and everything, but it's easy. It's not so difficult because something easy about the third conditional is that we use it in Spanish and the structure is so similar. It is the same with the perfect tenses, and it is the same with the perfect conditional tense. So if we compare, I know this is not right when we're learning a new language, you're learning that language. And something we used to say as teacher is, okay, try not to think in Spanish. You will not learn that way. But in this case, because we're referring to complex structures, and in this case, they are so similar, so it is so easy if you try to put that structure in your mind, in your own language, in this case, Spanish. And then you say, okay, it's that simple. It's not so difficult, even though we have complex structures. This is about the third conditional structure, what I just explained. What about the uses? Remember that we use this for imaginary situations in the past. Why are they imaginary situations? Because we're talking about things that did not happen. And we can change the past. But when we use the third conditional, it is like you want to change the past, or maybe you want to talk about something that could have happened if a certain condition. Do you understand? So let's say, let's see these examples. If I had got a gold medal, I would have been happy. What's the meaning of this sentence? Do you understand? In this sentence, what the meaning for me is that this person is not happy. This person is not happy because this person did not get a gold medal. Do you see the real situation? This is the real situation. Do you understand? Are you following me? Are you still there? Okay, Luis and Juan David, do you understand? So let's say that this is the girl and she's talking. And this is her sentence. So the real situation is she is not happy because she didn't get a gold medal. So she said, it's saying, if I had got a gold medal, I would have been happy. Let's say the next example. If I had met Susan last week, I would have given her the book. If I had met Susan last week, I would have given her the book. So, again, this is an imaginary situation because we're talking about that did not happen. What's the real situation? The real situation is this person didn't met Susan last week and Susan doesn't have the book. So this is a condition, a third conditional. If I had met Susan last week, I would have given her the book. If you see, we're using the structure I explained at the beginning. The if clause has the past perfect tense, had got, had met, past perfect tense, had done. And the second clause, the main clause, have the structure would have been, would have given, would have done. Do you have any questions about this? Because now we are going to do some exercises and that's your turn to participate in the web conference. Luis and David. I can understand why you can't stop talking, Luis and David. I'm a little bit dizzy hearing you all talking and talking and talking and talking. Please stop talking. Okay, I guess I will do this alone. So here I have some examples of answers you gave me in the forum. And they are, as I said at the beginning, they are not totally wrong. Some of them are good. They have a good structure in English. But the thing is, these sentences that do not have the structure of the third conditional. And that's what you have to do. You have to build sentences with the third conditional. So here we have an answer of one of the students in the course. Let's see here. So here the answer is, she's talking about the regrets. And the first one is not being sure of myself, and that's why I lost opportunities. Number two is not having taken advantage of the things I had, and that I had. And the third one is study something that does not attract my attention, and I am not passionate about. So this is one of the answers, and we have two as an exercise in this web conference. We have to use that information and to translate it into third conditional sentences. Do you want to try? Luis and David. No. Okay, good. Ah, oh my God. So, the best thing, I will say this to the guys who are here with me in this room, in this web conference. If you are participating in a class, I will ask you to really get involved in the class for you to have meaning for this what we're doing here get a meaning into your life, because if not, we're losing our times. Remember that one thing is watching videos of someone else exercising. And another thing is you go and exercise and do the exercises. That's how we learn in everything. That's how we learn everything in life. So I will do it, no problem. I will show you how to change this into third conditional sentences. So let's go back here to the structure. Remember that we use a first part, a first clause, if past perfect, perfect conditional. So the girl here is saying, one regret is not being sure of myself, and that's why I lost opportunities. So what she's trying to say is that maybe, so I will use the if clause with the past perfect. And I will put not being sure. Confident. That's what she wants to say, but we are going to translate the whole sentence, trying to be respectful with the words, her words, his words, okay? Not being sure of myself. It doesn't matter if there are mistakes, because what we're looking here is to build the third conditional, comma, and I will use the second part, which is the would part, the perfect conditional, using this sentence, lost opportunities. So now let's translate that. If I hadn't been I'm using the negative, so I need to use the antonym, insecure, if I hadn't been, or yeah, insecure about myself, I wouldn't, or I would not have lost opportunities. So this is The same meaning, but expressed in a third conditional sentence. Let's go with number 2. In number 2, we have, again, we need to put this, not having taken advantage of the things I had. Not taking advantage of the things I had. It's incomplete. So let's say in the first part, if part, which is the past perfect part, we are going to express that not having taken advantage. And let's say that in the second part, she wants to express that in the part of the perfect conditional. She wants to express that maybe she's not happy. Something similar to the example we have here in this slide. Like, I would have been happy. Let's say that. So, here we are again. If I had taken advantage of the things in life, I would have feel happier, or I would have been happy. Let's go with the third one. Study something that does not attract my attention and I am not passionate about. Again, this is incomplete because here she's just introducing the regret, but she's not explaining why that's a big regret. Like, because of that, I'm not happy. Or because of that, I am not, I'm not working. Or because of that, I couldn't travel. So this one is incomplete again. So we have to add information like in the second one. I added this one. I would have been happy. Because she's not explaining the regret. And remember that we are talking about imaginary situation. And when we talk about imaginary situations in the past, that is, let's say that I imagine that I can change the past. That's not true, but let's imagine that. I will have to explain why. If not, I just let it pass. I don't even need to worry about the past. That's something good to do. That's something I do every time. But in this case, as we are humans, we humans, you humans, not me in this case. Yeah, humans have lots of regrets all the time. They are always regretting something about the past. So that's why we have subject to teach. In this case, the third condition, the imaginary situation. So let it pass because this is incomplete and we are not going to do the whole task for this girl. We have another example here of another student in the course and he sent something like this. We have only 2 minutes left. That was for me. Okay, it is better for me that you have done this, but it's okay. So let's see this one. There are some things I regret. I used to procrastinate and now I regret not taking action sooner. So in this case, this guy, this is a guy, this is a boy. Um, he's explained the regrets. So it's easier for us to pause to translate this information into a third conditional. I used to conform to others' expectation and now I regret not staying true to myself. I used to prioritize work over family and now I regret not spending more quality time with loved ones. Let's do that one, the last one, number 3. Okay, let's erase this. Less than a minute. Let's see if I can do it. Um, if I had, let's use the same prior, prioritize my family, I would not have, um, I would, let's say, I would have spent more quality time with them.